Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for ICONversations. The ICON program is designed to celebrate our company's top producers. These agents have gone far above capping status and are now earning back their paid company dollar with various stock grants, which are earned by reaching exceptional milestones. Today, we have 5 amazing panelists here to bring you a freight train of knowledge. From Alberta, we have Tennille Zellweger. From Kansas, we have Maribeth Anderson. From Ontario, we have Will Mansauer. From New Hampshire, we have Leanne Parks. And our moderator today is Taylor Zapata from California. Taylor, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. I am in sunny California, so I know you guys, some of you are saying it's freezing. I feel bad for you. The sun is out. It'll be like a nice 65 degrees today. So I'm going to go around. We'll kind of skip Tennille until she gets it figured out. Leanne, you and I had the privilege to do it together last week, so nice to see you or talk to you again, I guess. So my first question is, how do you guys stay ahead of market trends and adapt your strategies when the real estate landscape shifts significantly? Will, let's start with you.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you there. Can you repeat that question?
Yeah. How do you stay ahead of market trends and adapt your strategies when the real estate landscape shifts significantly?
Good question. So I've been doing this for 21 years now, and I've seen a lot of ups and downs in many different markets with regards to interest rate fluctuations, and hot markets, cold markets. I'm a firm believer, and I always wasn't this way, but you have to stick to the plan. Whatever your plan is, you have to stick to it. And there's going to be times when it's a buyer's market and there's going to be a lot of inventory on there, and your listings are going to sit. It's really important that you keep in touch with people and don't deviate from what has worked for you in the past. I find if you start changing things up too much, you're going to get frustrated, and so will your clients. So when the market's slow, I'm constantly doing everything that I'm doing when the market's busy. I have 3 face-to-face meetings a week with people that know, like, and trust me. I make sure of that, whether they're coffees, lunches, whatever. And I can't stress it enough. You must always remain top of mind. And that is irrelevant for whatever market it is, up or down. You need to make sure you stay top of mind because there is always real estate happening. Properties are closing every day. So there's always going to be deals to be had. And work your sphere. I can't tell you enough how important it is. I'm fortunate enough to have the experience and the time to have a really big sphere. And all I do all day, every day is I work my sphere. 90% of my business is sphere-based. It's repeat, it's referral. I'm really working those and pumping my energy and time into that, as well as prospecting. If you're not prospecting, you're unemployed. So it's really important that you prospect every day. Real estate isn't buying and selling houses. You're going to buy and sell houses as a result of really good prospecting. If your prospecting sucks, your sales suck.
That's a good way to do it. Mary, you want to answer the same question?
Sure. Yeah. I think a lot of what Will said, I would echo. And then I would also say, don't freak out, right? Like I've seen so many agents run for the hills when shifts are coming or they're happening. And it just doesn't need to be that way. So like Will said, like we stay consistent and we do what we do best and we keep doing it. You don't have to run. Sometimes we have to pivot a little bit, but we're still standing on solid ground if we keep that perspective. And I would just also add, like, who in your sphere and even in your prospective circles needs to move, because there's always those people that need to move no matter what the market's doing. And so when we're in a time of maybe a little bit of a lull or just a little uncertainty, to kind of pivot our focus to those people can be a really big difference maker as well.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so my next question is, what is your most effective lead generation method, and how do you consistently nurture those leads to convert them into clients? Leanne, you want to start with that one?
Yes. So how do we convert our leads into buyers and sellers?
Yeah, and what's your most effective generation for those leads?
I think that you have to reach out to them, and you have to reach out to them, more than once. You have to be very consistent, and that is calling them, emailing them. If you're friends with them on social media, I have 2 different Facebook accounts and an Instagram site. It's continually staying in touch with them. I recently just found out I got a listing, and the reason I was able to get that listing was my tenacity. I kept in touch with her. I sent her comps. I gave her, information on people in the industry. She needed an electrician, a cleaner. So I just stayed consistent. You just constantly have to, keep reaching out to them.
Yeah, definitely stay in top of mind, and fortune is in the follow-up for sure. Tilly, do you have audio? Will you try it real quick for Brian?
I do. Sorry about that. Can you guys hear me?
And we can hear you.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, do you want to try that question now?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is communication is a huge piece. There's a lot of our other agents that don't always answer right away. And I think clients just want to know that you care. So by answering, getting the information, that's where we've been able to build a successful business, is just really making sure we're taking care of our clients and always communicating with them, getting them the information that they need. And as far as how we really generate our clients, I'm a firm believer in doing the things that you love. And when you're in energetic alignment with that, the right clients come to you, and it naturally just transpires into business.
Yeah, I like that. So authentic generation, not buy anything. Okay, so my next question is, how do you leverage technology and digital marketing tools to reach potential buyers and sellers in today's market? Will, do you want to go again?
Yeah, sure. So I have a couple things here. Back to just the previous question on lead generation, I focus on niche marketing, and I target specific leads through niche marketing, and I do that using technology. I'm a big AI guy as well for my business, and it's really important that the world is changing. AI is going to be a big part of everybody's business, so whether you like it or not, or believe in it or not, it's here and it's not going anywhere. I think it's really important too that you have processes set up to attack your leads that come in by using technology to do that, whether it's CRM, smart campaigns, monthly, weekly newsletters, and as well as the follow-up. You need to have a follow-up plan in place, because that's where the gold is.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So could you give me an example of what those AI uses that you're doing? Because everybody says, I use AI. I'm like, which one? For video, or using it for your description? Like, how are you using AI?
I don't use AI to build listing descriptions, because I can tell pretty much when there's a description built for a listing using AI. I mean, you can use it as a template and then modify it. I use the majority of my AI is for my podcast. I also use it to develop reels. I script reels, record, edit, and post, as well as the Instagram description in 15 minutes or less.
What platform are you using for that?
I use Chat GPT for, and I'm using various other ones. There are video AI tools you can use, like in Video AI. They're pretty good. They're all paid, obviously. The other thing I use AI for is lead magnets. There's a thing I described to you called Bookle, where it allows you to write a book, 10-chapter book on any subject you want. I use this for content generation. I also use it for my own personal use, because if there's something I don't know that I want to learn, I'll have Bookle write a book on it, and I will read that book. And it'll be very specific. In our industry, or in our model, obviously, I've built books on age and attraction, lead generation, follow-up, prospecting. I've also used that technology to build books on various markets, cities, and talks about the schools, the recreation, the communities, and so on and so forth. So it's massive. I mean, this could be an entire hour we could spend on this stuff, but it is saving you. Your time is your most important asset. And I would highly suggest people use AI to save time so they can focus their time on prospecting to get more deals.
Nice. Oh man, you're really utilizing it. Okay. Mary, do you want to answer the technology question? You want me to repeat it? I know it's been a minute.
Sure. Yeah. I've got it in front of me here. So,
okay, go ahead. Would you answer that one for us?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll preface with, if anybody can identify, like I personally am not the most tech savvy person that I know. But praise God, I've got an awesome team. And so I think also surrounding yourself with people that have the skill sets and the strengths that maybe you don't. Like we don't have to be the jack of all trades. We have to be good at a lot of things. But I just want to throw that out there first. And secondly, I would say our team uses Ylopo, which I see Robert posted in the chat there. There's Ylopo, and we integrate Ylopo with Follow Up Boss. It's been an awesome way to keep our spheres consistently touched in valuable ways. We have built out campaigns for our open house leads. We do a lot to build up open houses, but that follow up we all know is key or nothing happens. We just stand and meet a lot of people, which is fun. But to have that lasting impact, we've got things put in place that really help us leverage those encounters we have with people. And then another thing that we utilize is Pivo. I'll put it in here. It integrates with AI and also just the SEO of Facebook and Google, and really helps just automate, make easier video. And the content we put out, it ensures that is actually hitting the algorithms in a positive way. It's helped our team take a tool, which we all know we need, which is to be out there on video and leverage that AI opportunity and algorithm without having to have all of the knowledge ourselves. So it puts out a really professional looking video as well.
Awesome. Okay, so my next question is, what is your approach to building strong client relationships and fostering repeat business and referrals? Leanne, you want to start with that one?
Let me look at that question again. Just one moment here.
Yeah, no worries. I can repeat it.
So I've been in the business for 21 years, and I have 3 sons. They were all in sports. So I was not able to go to, the Chamber of Commerce events and all these extracurricular activities because I had 3 children when I got back into the industry. They were 1, 3, and 10. And so I, put my information all over the boards at the arena. I sponsored the kids' warm-up suits, and I became the go-to person, at my kids' sporting events that, when you had questions or wanted a list or buy, I was the go-to realtor. They're all grown now. I'm a grandmother, and so I have a lot of past clients. I've sold, like 600 different properties, and I stay in touch with them. One way we stay in touch with them, my mother works with me. And every year when it comes, tax season, we, if they sold or bought with us the year prior, we're sending out their, their CD so that they have that ready for their accountant. I'm big on social media as well. I have 2 Facebooks. I have an Instagram. I'm not so technology driven the way on all these different sites, and it's very interesting to hear, how other people are generating business. But I just try to stay in touch with my past sphere. I'm also I do sell commercial, and I do rentals as well. So I'm pretty diversified, and I'm also licensed in the state of Maine too.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not so tech savvy either. So my major skill is people skills.
Right.
And so that's what I utilize the most. And I have 5 kids, so I don't want to say I use them, but I definitely use them to meet some people.
Well, that's what I do. I mean, you have to kind of market where you're at. And for
Yeah.
as a very busy mom like you are as well, and I know you're a butcher, you kind of have to market where you're at. And that's what I did. I can now attend those meetings. I choose not to because I have my past sphere of people that refer me. So yeah, it works for me.
Awesome. Tanelli, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, I think a big thing is community. So I'm really big on being a part of the community. We do community events where we invite past clients and we really just try to connect the community. And I think we get a lot of referrals from local businesses because we obviously send people their way. We're in a small community and it just kind of reflects back with the referral basis. And then a big piece of my business has always been agent referral. So definitely going to events, being in contact, collaborating with other agents. I've driven a lot of business through agent referrals. And then as far as the way we do a lot of our marketing for new leads is social media, I do dabble in AI. I'm not a master at it, but luckily my husband has really started to learn a lot about it. So he started to integrate it a little more. I started using a bit of HeyGen for videos. And then I have everything automated with my workflows that ties in with my KB Core, which is my lead generation. And then we have a team. So we use Trello to make sure that we're actually taking care of all of our clients, that everybody's being communicated with all the time. And that's how we've built so far. But as I think the world's starting to change a little bit and AI is starting to take over, we're starting to integrate more of that so that we can show up for our clients and do an even better job. So instead of letting AI use us, we're using it, which is pretty exciting.
That is awesome. Will, do you have anything to add to those that you do?
I think they were all covered pretty good there.
Yeah, I mean, they great responses. Okay, so my next question is, how do you differentiate yourself from other realtors in your area to attract clients and stand out in a competitive market? Mary, it is your turn.
All right, awesome. So I love this topic because, there's 90,000 plus agents here. There's hundreds of thousands worldwide, but there's only one you and there's only one me. And so I think I've heard this get touched on in different ways through our questions so far, but Leanne, like really leaning in to your lane. And Taylor, a mom of 5 kids. I'm a mom of 5 kids too. And
awesome.
I'm also super visual. So like I picture that car that's like, changing lanes all through the road trip, like how exhausted and frustrated they must be. But that person who's just cruising in that left lane, it's like wide open, clarity, and they feel great when they get to their destination. So I think identifying what makes you is super important. And that's been a real business builder for me. We're super all about the community connections and relationship building. And so as a mom of 5 kids, my lane reflects a lot of that. If I take it a step further, a Christian mom of 5 kids, my Christian families that come to me, I'll help anyone, right? But those people are my best champions, my best referral partners, and best business builders. So really keeping that clarity, and then the things that I do, like heading into looking at Facebook. Well, I'm looking at the Facebook groups that really resonate with who I am and the lane that I'm in. And so I participate in those and just add value. And then my champions are also in those groups. And so they're happy to chime in and recommend me or give me a shout out if somebody has a need. So on Facebook, that's a way that I've gained a lot of traction. But staying in my lane, also outside of Facebook, joining groups that resonate with who I am and where I'm at in life. There's an instant trust factor there, and there's then instant business. So those are some of the things that I am passionate about, and I've seen other agents find great success in too.
I totally agree. Will, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I've got a word on my wall, my vision board here that I've had forever, and it's called separation. And I'm always looking for ways to separate myself from other agents. One thing I can't stress enough is to pay attention to what other people are doing, and find ways to separate yourself from what they are doing. Whether it's your social media content, how you do your listing presentation, how you work with buyers. You got to always position yourself as the pro and the go-to person. And you're doing your job well when people are constantly calling you for information, especially when it comes to like doing trades on their house. Do you have a roofing guy? Do you have a window guy? Do you have a landscaping person you can recommend? You really know that you've developed rapport, like, and trust with your audience when they call you for advice. So it happens to me every day. It happened to me this morning. So position yourself as the expert in your market, and do that by creating separation between what others are doing, and you'll have success. You can always model the most successful agents in your market and see what they're doing and do what they're doing, and then add to it to make it yours.
I like that. I this morning got a call too and said, hey, I need somebody to come give me a new bathroom. I'm like, I got a couple people for you. So I totally understand that. And just being there for any types of trades is super helpful. And like we have an office and we have everybody's business card in town so people can pop in and grab, if they need something or somebody, there's something in there. Whether it's insurance or trades or, anything that somebody could need, we usually have somebody that we've partnered with. Okay, so my next question is, what is your process for accurately pricing a property to ensure a quick sale in a fluctuating market? Leanne.
Well, of course we have our MLS. So, anytime we are working with listing a property, we're diving right into the past sold properties and getting the most accurate numbers. We're also, if there's pending properties that are on the MLS, we're contacting the brokers that have those listings to see if those are going to be closing and those are going to be comps, so that we'll have the most up-to-date information, because it's so important to price properties correctly, because if you overprice them, they're going to sit, and there's nothing wrong with those properties, but that they're just overpriced. So we do a lot of digging and due diligence prior to giving the number for their property, and making sure that we work with our sellers to not overprice their properties so that they get sold. I think last year I don't even know if we had any that didn't sell. We're in a seller's market. I know that you said you're in a buyer's market.
Yes.
We're still in a large deficit here in New England. We're about 60,000 units short in the state of New Hampshire. So it's still a seller's market here. So, a property that's priced appropriately here in our market usually is only on the market a week or less.
In my market, and I don't know if anybody else is experiencing this, we're struggling with new builds. So we will have an immaculate listing. It will be priced under comps, like considerably. We'll offer seller credits, but right down the street is a brand new build, and that builder is offering a 5% interest rate and $20,000 towards closing costs and all the things. And so, you try to say no Melrose or a landscaped yard, and buyers are like, I'm going to take that cheap rate any day. And we're losing buyers, which I can't say I have buyers in the new builds too, because it's the better deal. But our listings are struggling when there's 6 or 7 builders in one development, and they are all offering their firstborn child for you to come buy their new property. And so that's what we're competing with. And even if we're priced 30, 40,000 under comps, some of the listings are just sitting.
Interesting. Yeah, definitely different from here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, it's new build after new build. Everywhere you go, we have a new development. Sorry, Leanne, go ahead.
No, I'm all set. No.
Yeah, okay. Will, you want to add to that?
Yeah, it's really important when pricing real estate that you get it right. I do video market analysis to all my sellers. I show them online in a video what has sold, what has expired, why it's expired, probably because it's been priced too high. I am very keen on saying no to people. I've had people I've sat down with and they say, I'll give them like 1.5 million, for example, as the house price. And they'll say, we were thinking 1.7. And I'm like, well, I can't get you that. So I can't work with you. It's really important that you put your time as a priority, because you do not want to get stuck listing a house for way more than market value and having to spend time babysitting the listing and the sellers because they didn't listen to you. There have been times in the past where I have taken a listing that's been overpriced, but I have stated very clearly that, listen, we're going to do this your way for 21 days. After 21 days, if the house doesn't sell, we're going to cancel and relist. If they don't like that, they can go work with somebody else. I'm fortunate enough to be in a position to do that, but they're hiring me as a professional. I'm giving them the market value based on facts and figures. Everyone's got emotional ties to their property. They all think it's worth a lot more than it is. It's our job to show them what reality is. And that's also going to depend on whether the market is hot and your strategy for selling is going to change, as opposed to a buyer's market where there's a number of houses on sale and their inventory is high. You can't be overlisting your property. It's just a waste of your time, and your time's worth more than any commission check that may or may not happen.
Yeah. And something I do in that situation is I say I want this to be successful. And every minute I'm sitting here with you as a seller is a minute away from my child. And I don't want it to be for nothing. So if we're going to go overpriced and sit on the market for 6 months, it was for nothing. And I spent time on marketing and photos, and it was time away from what's very, very, very valuable to me. And they're like, oh, I didn't realize, since you're here with me, you're missing something else. And they say, okay, like the goal is to be successful, and at that price, it is not going to be successful. So same thing. I have turned them down, and then a week later, you see it on the market with another agent that told them yes at that price, and it's sitting on the market. Mary, do you have anything to add?
I think you guys really did a great job of covering it. Something that Michael Hagan, who is my dad and business partner, taught me years ago was the line, I'm opinions and your decisions. And there's totally that line, right, where we can't, we can't accept every wild card that comes up. But at the same time, I think that line helps open up a discussion that says, I'm here for expert opinions. You want me to have those. That's why I'm sitting here. And at the end of the day, you're going to make the decisions. Here's what I'm seeing. And I'll map out exactly what you guys talked about. Like at 1.7, Will, that house is not going to sell. I also say we will pull out all of the stops, and we will command the top dollar the market will allow for. So I put it back on the market. If the market says that this is too high, if you really want to start here, then I actually give them 14 days. I say in 14 days, we have to be ready to make an adjustment, and it's going to look like this, and I map it out for them. And at that point, even if we're not starting where we should be starting, we have a plan. We've set the expectation, and we can solve the problem if it becomes a problem 14 days later.
Awesome. Tanelli, do you have anything to add to that? I think we're all in different markets, so I kind of like to hear a little bit different. I do a lot more rural, so, most homes sit for 30 to 45 days before they go into contract. So the 14-day mark is like really, 3 days on the market for you guys. So I like to hear everybody's difference. What about you, Tanelli?
That's where the market shifts all the time. And I think as a good agent, anybody in business, you need to be able to anticipate what's coming. And sometimes you need to pivot. So our market, we're in an oil field town in Lloydminster, so it's known to be boom or bust. Mm-hmm. And so what happens here is we were in a buyer's market for about 10 years. We constantly kept growing our market share here. And so our strategy changed from when we're in a buyer's market. versus now. But what we did in a buyer's market is obviously when we price something, it's based on what's sold, what's for sale, much like you guys do with your market analysis. Then as an agent, we also look at, okay, we'll take that listing. I'll let you list it at what you want for the first 30 days, but we're going to have to come down to the price to be competitive, because that way too, I feel like sometimes people just need to go through their own experience with it, and then they start to listen to you. And while you're doing that, you're starting to generate leads as well. When it was really slow, we looked at doing home trades. So if we had somebody moving up or moving down, if they weren't selling, we would actually sometimes become that matchmaker and we would do trades, and that seemed to help. But now we're in a different market. So now our market's more of a seller's market. So it's a completely different strategy on how we're navigating for our sellers and buyers as well.
Wow, I have not done any home trades.
It's about being creative. Like sometimes you just have to think outside of the box. And we still made the same amount of money as when it's booming or busting here, but that's because we looked at it and we thought, okay, what can we control and what can't we control, and what can we do to change it? And then that led us to people wanting to work with us because we're really doing what we can to be in their best interest as well.
Definitely. Okay, my next question. How do you handle challenging situations such as negotiating difficult offers or navigating complex property issues? Will, you want to go first?
Sure, yeah. So I love negotiation. I've kind of softened my approach over the years. I used to be a bit of a pit bull, which at times could be hard to deal with when doing deals because I was, had my my clients' interests at the best interest in mind, and I still do, obviously. But I have a no mentality when it comes to negotiation. I'm very prepared to walk away from anything, obviously with my clients' blessing, and usually more times than not, it comes back in our favor. So a lot of agents, depending on where you are in your journey as a real estate agent, obviously newer agents are just trying to get deals done and make money. I get it. But I'm more in the sense that if it's not going to work, I'll be pretty straight up with the other agent that I'm working with and let them know this is not going to work. This is what we're expecting. I'm always driving the bus for my clients rather than being a passenger. And, I let them know if we walk away from this, here's the repercussions, and you got to be okay with that. And usually they are, and it comes back and we win, rather than just, falling down. So one thing I've learned over the years in negotiation is to be a little more empathetic in my approach. I've been pretty aggressive in my approach in negotiation, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. An example would be, I had a listing where the buyer agent came in and did a home inspection and told me that the air conditioning unit is old and will need replaced, and they wanted to do a price reduction on the sale offer on the sale. And I said, absolutely not. I said, is it working right now? They said it is. I said, you have basically 10 minutes to send me the waiver of inspection, or send me a mutual release, and we're going back on the market. And within 5 minutes, I had the waiver, and the agent called me back and said, listen, I had the waiver already prepared. I just wanted to see if I could squeeze you guys for some dollars, and you weren't having any of that. Good on you. Here's the waiver. Congratulations on the sale close. So you just got to flex a little bit. It's not, you got to understand it might hurt the deal, but more times than not, it won't. You're acting in the best interest of your clients anyway. So just be transparent with them on what you're doing and how you're doing it, and the repercussions that could be associated with your actions.
Definitely. I just had the opposite. I represented a buyer, and he wanted a little bit more money off. And from the very beginning, the sellers had been saying, no, this is it, our bottom dollar. I asked for it. And he's like, but they already said no. I said, it doesn't hurt. Let's do it. And we got it. They didn't even counter back and split it down the middle. So sometimes you just have to go for it and see, call that bluff. Leanne, you want to answer that one?
Yeah, I think communication here is what's very critical and important, in knowing your seller, buyer, client. What just communicating with them. What if you get an offer that's way low, you contact them, you let them know this is what came in, you give them options of, not responding, countering back. I've brought low offers to sellers and I thought, oh, I was dreading bringing the offer to them. They accepted them. You don't know where your clients are always at. You don't always have all the information. So communication is definitely key here. I like the hardball approach that Will has. It sometimes works, but I just think communicating with your buyer and seller client to know what they want to do is key, and letting them know immediately about these offers, so that they can respond accordingly. And I give them backup data where it's needed. So sometimes they'll accept the offers. Sometimes they'll go back on the market. It depends on every situation is unique.
Most definitely. Okay, my next question, and Mary, I'll start with you on this one. Name one thing that you can attribute to your success to become an ICON agent.
Okay, yeah. Could answer that in a few ways, but I think what I touched on earlier certainly is a piece of that answer, which is just identifying who I am, identifying the value I can bring and to who in the most impactful way that's going to have the biggest ripple effect. That is so key. And then I would also say, because my agent relationships are super strong, like not being closed off at all to that. And I think EXP's model is just so brilliant and really built for this, but like really sharing and really collaborating and really rising together with people, there's power in that. And so I've leaned into that as well on the agent side. And so my agent referrals and just opportunities that come to the table because we built those relationships have also really added to just the overall effect on my business.
Awesome. Tanelli, do you have anything to add to that?
I think the most important thing is whenever you're really doing anything is be clear on what your outcome is, like what you want to accomplish. And then success leaves clues. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Somebody probably has a result that you're looking to accomplish. So when I started in business, the most important thing was finding a mentor who had the result that I want, who taught me what I needed to do. And then I put my own spin on it and just being authentic, like really leaning into your intuition and trusting it because it'll always guide you to where you need to be. I think that has really been what's led me to success in real estate.
Awesome. Okay, so my next question is, how do you continuously improve your knowledge and skills to remain competitive in the real estate industry? Leanne?
So I go to a lot of conventions. I been to EXPCon twice. I always go to. I'm a broker in Maine and New Hampshire, so I go to all the classes. Right now, it's not a busy market right now, so I'm constantly, going into the classes that we have offered in both boards that I'm part of. EXP has a wealth of information. I mean, you could go on it 24/7. So I just think keeping yourself educated is very important in this industry because it's constantly changing.
It is. Will, do you have anything about how you stay competitive and how you keep?
Yeah, you gotta show up. A lot of people don't show up. I used to run collaboration meetings online once a week, and there's 400 agents in the group, and 10 of them are showing up, so I canceled them. And so you got to show up for yourself, and that could be attending conferences. I read every day nonfiction that's not related to real estate or related to real estate. I talked about the books I create using AI. There's always value listening to. I don't listen to music in my car. I listen to audiobooks. So there's always something you can do to sharpen the saw, to keep and paying attention to what's going on, like making sure you got a finger on the pulse all the time. I find myself when I don't do that for a week or two because I'm busy doing other things, I kind of feel like I'm behind. So I time block this stuff. So a lot of I call them elite habits. A lot of these habits I have are elite in the sense that I've been doing them for so long. It's just something that I do. And, it drives my kids nuts if I don't have them in the car so much anymore because they're driving. But when they were in the car, I'd have an audiobook on and it'd drive them bananas. So then they started bringing their AirPods. But always invest, always show up. And, you're the only employee of your company. So if you're not working, your company is closed. Just remember that when you decide to take an afternoon off. One of the things I'll give you a tip wise, I just read this book by Ed Milet. And basically what he does is he breaks his day down into 3 days. So instead of having one day, 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. is one day, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. is day 2, and 6 to close is day 3. And he assigns tasks into each of those 3 blocks, which is 3 days into one. So he's got 21 days in 7 days. So if you kind of structure your life that way and time block certain things, your priorities, you'll have greater success.
Awesome. I know we're always talking about the things that we're good at or do at, and I want to ask, what do you guys struggle with? My day-to-day struggle is time blocking. I get sidetracked with kids or one of my other businesses, or I don't know, a fly on the wall. Who knows? So sometimes I'm all over the place. So that's my struggle. What do you struggle with, Leanne?
CRM. I think you said last week when we were on this conversation that you're not, that's my struggle.
Well, I hired a VA and he's doing mine as we speak.
Really?
Yes. The best thing I've ever done.
Excellent. So that's my biggest struggle is the CRM. So I'll have to get information on how you how you ended up getting yours.
Yeah. He's going back 7 years through Skyslope and putting everybody in with their anniversaries and their birthdays and absolutely everything I need. So maybe next year when I'm on Conversations, I can say I have it together.
That's excellent. Thank you. Yeah,
yes.
Appreciate that.
Mary, what do you struggle with in your day-to-day?
Well, I can relate to the time blocking thing. That may be a side effect of the 5 kids. I don't know. But I actually struggle with making videos. Like, I don't mind them, but blocking time to do that in a meaningful way, and also to participate maybe next level in some of the Facebook ventures that I know would be super successful for building, maybe even doubling what we're doing. Just finding the mind, the willpower, and the time. That's a struggle for me.
Awesome. Well, maybe you can get with Will and get the video AI thing he uses. Mary, what do you struggle with?
Or wait.
What?
Are you talking to me?
Are you Mary?
I can answer it again.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry. So who hasn't gone? Oh, no, Tonelli. I'm sorry. I was reading the wrong name on my list.
Mine is just the admin stuff. I don't really like doing the back-end computer stuff. So I think when you outsource and you leverage the things that maybe you don't like doing or that you're not good at, and you get somebody else to do them, like you guys were saying, you can spend the time and energy on the things you do love. So I've had an assistant for a long time, and then we're starting to using some AI to automate those things as well.
Awesome. And Will, what do you struggle with? Wait, did you go? No, you have not.
Yeah, I haven't gone. I struggle with 2 things. One is weather, because I'm in a seasonal environment here. So when it's nice out, I'm golfing. So I'm not working. The second one, kidding aside, was cold calling. I was good at it. I don't mind it. I've got pretty thick skin, and but I hired an ISA who goes through my CRM and calls all my leads that I have coming in from all my specific Facebook Meta niche campaigns that I'm targeting specific audiences. So she basically sets up the appointments for me and I kick her a percentage of a commission when I get paid. I don't have time to sit here and make calls. I don't really enjoy it. I like doing other things for my business that I enjoy. And I've said several times that, my time is my most important asset. So for me to hire this ISA to make my calls, she's actually a licensed agent. She's doesn't want to buy and sell anymore. She would love to just stay home and do what she's doing for me. And that also includes putting my deals into Sky Slope and all that. So I kind of like to automate my business and take the stuff I like to do, I automate, and the stuff I don't like to do, I have her do it. So she's kind of automating it on the background, which frees up my time, especially in warmer climates, to play more golf.
Awesome. Okay, our last question is, what advice would you give a new real estate agent to build a successful career in today's market? Let's see who just went. Leanne, you can go.
Okay. So first off is making sure that they have enough income for at least 6 months. I think in my career, I have come across a lot of wonderful realtors, and they just weren't able to stay in the business because they didn't have enough resources to allow them to get those deals, percolating so that they could be successful. And also prospecting every day. I think Will said that. You have to do that. You cannot be, a shy realtor. You got to be out there. You got to be prospecting, and you have to let people know that you're in the business, or they're going to go to one of the other thousands of other realtors that are out there.
Yeah, definitely. Tonelli?
Sorry, I don't know how to turn my microphone there. As far as, I think you just have to stay competitive and really focusing on what you can do. As an agent, I think you just gotta start out, and a mentor is a huge important piece of it. If you don't know what you're doing, ask somebody.
Definitely. Mary?
Yeah, I would say I've seen a lot of agents get into the business and actually train themselves to the poorhouse instead of plugging into meaningful training. We have some of the best at EXP, so that's easy to do. Plug in, but then get your boots on the ground. Don't be afraid, and surround yourself with people who can run with you when you do get an active lead or buyer or seller opportunity, and learn through the process. The agents that on our team and in our sphere that I've seen be super successful are the ones that haven't been afraid to do that. I would also just say stay consistent, stay focused, and keep it pretty simple. We can complicate this business really fast, but we don't need to. It can be a relationship business. It can be a boots on the ground, stay in your lane business, and it can be a really successful business pretty quickly if we don't get sidetracked.
Definitely. And Will, what would you teach a new agent, or advice would you give?
Well, knowledge is power. And in order to get the knowledge, you got to be aligned with people who have it. So I would highly suggest seeking out like-minded people who have been in the business for a long time, going for a coffee with them, picking their brains, and paying attention to what's going on. Joining a team is good. The only problem is you're going to be under contract with that team. You're going to be giving your money away in exchange for the value and the knowledge. Having said that, there are some teams out there that just are not very good at developing their people, and you're going to be giving your money away for nothing. So it's really important that you do your due diligence on the team that you join. If you do join a team, the beauty of EXP is the collaboration of it all. I worked in a big box brokerage for 16 years, and I would never, ever do what I'm doing now there because people are so guarded with all their intel. So reach out to people in EXP. You can reach out to me. I'm here to help everybody. And, just model the behavior of the people that are successful. You got to manage your expectations too. It's not going to happen overnight. So pack your patience and just get in front of people and make sure you're top of mind.
Awesome. I don't have any more questions, and I appreciate everyone's amazing time spent with me this morning. And I hope you guys all have a great weekend.
You as well. Thank you, Taylor.
Thanks, Taylor. You too.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Everyone, thanks, Brian. You rock, buddy. Thanks, Taylor.
Yes, he's the best. Awesome.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Awesome,
Thanks.
you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today for ICONversations. If you're in an active ICON benefit year watching in the audience, you get a couple of points. And if you're watching this on YouTube, smash that like button. You guys have a great one.